Tell me a bit about yourself and what got you interested in fantasy role-playing games.
So I'm Joe. I went to URI. I have a degree in political science and philosophy. I coach football. Um, I got interested in fantasy and role-playing games by reading a lot of fantasy and adventure type books and playing those type of video games when I was young. Continue to do so now. Things like World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings, stuff like that.
Awesome. Who or what are some of your biggest influences?
Biggest influences for me are definitely Tolkien. Obviously, he's the gold standard. Um, R.A. Salvatore. He's done a lot of work in this area, and I loved his writing. He really expanded what high fantasy was for me, and I still think that he probably best represents what high fantasy is and kind of what D&D is all about.
All right, nice. So how long have you been playing D&D and what is your favorite thing about it?
So I've been playing D&D for about 2 years. This is my first D&D group. My favorite thing about it is actually just the camaraderie of it, spending time with friends every week, getting together consistently, and screwing around, having fun. It's a lot of fun.
All right, awesome. So if you had an opportunity to convince somebody to play that never has, what would you say?
There's a lot of things that made me want to play D&D. I always wanted to play it when I was young, and then wanted to even more so in high school, but didn't have kind of a dedicated group to play with. So I would say that it's awesome in terms of being able to do and say what you want in the game. You can kind of create and develop your character from the backstory all the way to every decision that they make. You can, like Eric said, you can kind of make any decision that you want, and you will have to pay the consequences or repercussions of that decision.
All right, cool. Who did you play in Campaign 1, and what was your class, race, role, and why?
So I played Gadrin Deep Ruby. He was a Spear Nevlin, which is a deep gnome. They live in the Underdark. He was a mystic, which was in the Unearthed Arcana. It is not officially in any of the books, but I wanted to play a cerebral character. I wanted to play something that was a little bit different for my first character, and he was kind of a utility type of role. He didn't really fit anything specifically, but he was able to do a lot of things, and he was good in conversational and non-combat situations as well.
Okay, cool. What was your favorite moment from the first campaign and why?
We fought a dragon at one point when we were a low level, and the dragon nearly TPK'd us, and then we came back levels later and killed that dragon, and it was really cool. It was a triumph from that point to where we fought it the first time to when we killed it in the second combat. So that was, for me, that was probably the most fun I had.
Okay, awesome. So bringing it back to this campaign, what are your hopes for your character in this one compared to the first campaign?
So Gadrin was, like I said, a little bit more cerebral. He kind of had his own issues and wasn't as vocal as I want Zephahim to be. That's why I play in campaign 2. Zephahim's a bit more complex than Gadrin, and I want Zephahim to really develop from step 1 to the end. I hope that he kind of finds a path.
All right, let's see where it takes us. And do you feel as though it is a big commitment playing D&D regularly, and was it difficult to jump into?
No, so like I said, I coach football. I work a lot, like anybody else. I'm busy, just like we all are, and I think that being able to play D&D regularly is not difficult. Set some time aside, as long as it works for everybody, and voila, you have your time to play, and it's really not that difficult to do. So I don't think it was hard, and to jump into, familiarizing yourself with the game at first can seem overwhelming, but it's really not. There's a lot of resources online. The Player's Handbook is awesome, and a lot of the books that they've come out with since then, are great. They do an awesome job, and there's a lot of videos out there, people explaining things in more detail, and it's like anything else. You could learn this game very easily. So for anybody who's interested and wants to play, definitely give it a shot.
All right, awesome. Thank